Okay, video number 2. This is basically about Rocky and Poudre School District. Our staff report to their department leaders, and both staff and department leaders can report to either principal or assistant principals at our school. Certainly parent and student groups can talk to any of those folks as well. And then our principal reports to the assistant superintendent of secondary schools in the Poudre School District and to any of the directors that sit on the cabinet. And then that whole group reports to our superintendent and the Board of Education. So multicultural issues. I would say that we're divided a little bit amongst ethnic and race divisions, and definitely rich versus poor, certainly city versus county. We don't have much of a dress code. We really do have a dress code, but I don't know that it's enforced. But everybody at Rocky has the same T-shirt with the school logo on it, and it doesn't matter if they could afford it or not. It was provided to them, and so that looks pretty amazing to see every single person wearing the same shirt at different school events. I think a lot of times people don't realize what our lower income students deal with, but they certainly, if they don't have Wi-Fi at home and every single class is on Blackboard, that means that when they're out or sick, they have no way to communicate with teachers and no way to keep up on their work compared with other kids who do have that. We have costs associated with a lot of our classes, and even though they're minimal, that of course is that, along with clubs and sports, certainly keeps kids from being a part of that. So certainly there's some avenues and scholarships that people can go down to be part of that, but kids have to really advocate for themselves if their family doesn't have money for them to do that. We have a 7-mile long reservoir of water at the very edge of town, and some of our kids have never been there. It takes about 10 minutes to drive there, and so even their life experiences that they encounter is really dramatically different than kids who come from a place of opportunity. And then again, we have really limited diversity. We're called Vanilla Valley for many reasons. But what that, when we need translators for different things, even for mental health assessments, it's really difficult to find translators that are available. It's really difficult to find role models and leaders of color, and so we really struggle in that way. I do think that most of our school and district communications are available in Spanish and then in additional languages, and the district actually has its own translation services, so that really helps schools be sensitive to communication issues with different cultures and races. But I think overall, again, this is a big issue in our town and in our schools. So the power structure in our school, boy, there's so many people that have power in different systems. Certainly students have the option to advocate together and to talk to anybody at the school, administrators, parents, staff, to kind of show their leadership and have leadership within the school. Parents can serve on building or district committees. They can go to the Board of Education. There's lots of surveying done around different things that come up and different changes that are occurring, and they can certainly band together and have more power in groups of people who feel the same way. Teachers have a pretty strong teacher union they can be part of. And PEA representatives they can talk to. They can certainly communicate with administrators and serve on district or state committees even around different issues. They can certainly be very politically active outside of work. We've had a lot of recent protests and lobbying going on both with students and teachers around pay issues and some other issues, and students have rallied around school violence, and our district's been actually extremely supportive and just set out guidelines about how to do it without getting in trouble and how to represent yourself either as a teacher or outside of work. And so that's been the most peaceful protest I've ever really been a part of and watched, as the whole system knows there's changes that need to take place and are trying to be supportive of that, but also ethical. Rocky admin, again, seem to be, they're not controlled by parent complaints, they're open to them, but they really do what's best for kids regardless of who complains about what. They do feel over-controlled by the district and feel like their hands are tied with a lot of things they want to do that make sense or are research-based, but are not allowed for different reasons at the district level. And then our PSD admin, obviously they have to respond to state and national guidelines. They serve on different committees available in our community. And they function pretty independently in our community, although they're warming up to partnerships with different groups. They're not overly impacted or controlled by different lobbying bodies in the community, including parents, although they're open to hearing input from all these groups. So we have tons of surveys that go out. There are parent and student surveys that the district sends out. Rocky has different parent nights, back to school, parent-teacher conferences. They do parent educational series at times, and that's a time to have more personal conversations about opinions. There's definitely different groups within the school that parents and kids can be on and teachers can be on to try and get their input to the direction of the school. And of course, there's social media outlets. And then even Fort Collins does an amazing community survey every year to try and find out just what's going on and what people think and what they're worried about, and trying to plan for all the growth that's been happening as well. So that's available. And then there's certainly editorials and such through our city paper. So I would say that this is a great slide to end on, because what we found is that overall people feel really good about the school district. They feel really good about Rocky. Certainly there are issues to work on, but that's great to have 86% or more of people feeling great about their schools, especially in a district of 30,000 people. Every year there's a connection survey done, looking at different kinds of connections students have, and Rocky always scores very high as far as student to staff connections, so we know that our teachers are doing a good job at our school. Certainly in Fort Collins, people really value the quality of life, the recreational opportunities, and the fact that they feel safe most times in their neighborhoods. Certainly we have challenges with traffic and public transportation, housing issues, and supportive businesses, but overall I'm so proud to be part of this community. It's certainly the right place for me. Thanks for letting me share it with you.